Alright, guys. 12 Worker Madness on the Patches mod. Patch Clash number 9 here. $600 online tournament with a crazy series of changes. That's right. Reynor in the top right, Beyond in the bottom left, and of course, 4 lava. Able to chill on your hatchery. Spawning pool first goes down, so it's a 14 spawning pool build. He's going to build a drone there. Interesting opening for Reynor. Now, this could be quite good against the command center first, but Beyond, we expect to do 2-Rax Reaper here. It's what he did earlier in this tournament on the same map against Solar. Put on some heavy pressure. We'll see if Reynor can withstand that. But I think a 14 pool is going to be kind of weak against it because there should be mostly a wall. Maybe you can dodge the Reapers and run inside and like distract them for a long time. I'm not quite sure, but normally you're going to be needing something a little bit different to get going. Obviously no gas here. He's just going to build one more drone, it looks like. Feels like Reynor is really gambling on some sort of build he expected. I would imagine a command center first from Beyond. I'm not getting that. Does he build 2 more Zerglings, guys? Yeah, 8 Zerglings. He's going to do an 8 Zergling pressure here. And the drone will go to the natural. So like I said, you can get 4 lava on your hatchery, whereas normally it caps out at 3, and only lava injects can add to that. He will go for a hatchery behind. The problem is against 2-Rax Reaper, remember, Queens cannot defend this. You need either Roaches or Ling Speed. You're not going to have Ling Speed. Reynor will need to immediately pivot to gas. And he's still building Zerglings. Oh, no. Oh, no. He really is not wanting to run into 2-Rax Reaper. Oh, he was probably busy playing his match earlier when Beyond was playing Solar. Didn't see that game. And this is, I mean, Beyond's such a king of command center first on the 8-worker start, but on this start, me no likey. That being said, if the Reapers are out, run away, and he gets inside, that could be good. But if Beyond quickly cancels, builds an add-on, he might be able to wall him out. So Beyond has no idea what's going on. Maybe these Lings can get in and still do damage? Cancel, like kill the command center, kill a few SCVs? The Lings should be coming in right now. Oh, the Reaper's about to pop out, though. Dude, wouldn't it be funny if that Reaper popped out and got instantly surrounded? Reaper's going to arrive at the other side. See that incredibly late hatchery. Roach Warren is already on the way. Reynor sees that Reaper. Honestly, I think he should have just gone in already. Because now Beyond sends the Reaper home. This Reaper bounces the Queen, goes in there to dance around. Does he see the Roach Warren? He doesn't see the Roach Warren, interestingly. This Reaper moves out, but he's just outside. He's baiting the Zerglings in. The Lings, they see another Reaper popping. They're waiting. They want the Reapers to all go to the other side of the map. But Beyond waits just outside of vision. And he says, "Nuh-uh, you're trapped in here, boy." But he didn't build an add-on. He should have built an add-on. He didn't have 25 gas. Ah, okay. Doesn't matter, though. With 2 Reapers, you can volley those Zerglings down. He loses 1 SCV on the command center, 1 on the factory. Roaches are building. Got to get these buildings building as quickly as possible. The Lings go back in for the command center SCV. Reapers are splitting up in the main base. You can see those SCVs take a bit of damage, but the Reaper will clean it up. No problemo. And that SCV barely alive. Oh, okay. He's going to save them all. He saves them all after the initial 2 losses. Gets his reactor in Tech Lab. These Reapers need to get across that map. They need to see these Roaches coming. It's a 4 Roach pressure with 2 more binders. So 6 Roach pressure. He's not pulled off gas, so I think he's going to make at least 1 Ravager. Factory is not quite finished. Tech Lab and Reactor not quite finished. Reaper about to jump into these Roaches. Roaches walk through the grass there and reveal themselves. Droning has begun behind it, but can he do enough to delay Beyond? Beyond quickly hops off and starts building the bunker, and then he says, you know what? I don't know if I even need it. He's going to go for concussive grenades. Now remember, this is a combination of concussive shells, but it also makes the grenade from the Reaper do a slowing effect. There's another Tech Lab upgrade you can get that gives a massive bonus to light for the Reaper's regular attack as well. Bring it from 8 to 14 versus light units. Not useful versus Roaches and Ravagers, though. Tech Lab will get taken down. There is a Marauder out, though, already doing a bit of damage to these Roaches. One of them goes down. Not the best micro for Reynor. Would have been nicer to pull that Roach back. Still trying to just pick off the reactors and the depots. He's still got 2 Queens up. Injects going down. Reynor's going to try to drone up, but desperately needs to find some damage. These grenades come forward trying to hit these units, but Beyond a little bit sloppy, loses a Reaper. And has he started? He's not started depots. Beyond is in supply block town right now. I mean, I know he's got a siege tank, but he is massively supply blocked. He's very late to start those depots. He doesn't have any depots right now. He can't even do a supply drop. Often you do supply drops to get out of the supply block at this point, but Beyond can't even do that. But look at that. Oh, he grenades the Ravagers. Reynor not looking for a second. That was a really cute move there. And the siege tank will siege up. I'd like to see him move that tank further forward, actually, but he's in more of a defensive position. There we go. He's going to move the tank forward. Try and build these add-ons now. That barracks, I think, is going to lift off so we can see the Overlord hiding on the pillar. She will fly away, and the Marines should be able to finish her off. A little bit of micro for Beyond. And of course, he does take that Overlord out. Double Engineering Bay goes down behind this. He's got a third orbital morphing. He should be ahead in this game, you would think. But remember, he doesn't really have a fluid counter pressure. Reynor will be able to take a third. He's got Ling Speed on the way, a second gas and third gas coming up. One wonders if it's tempting to just go for another Ravager Ling Assault. I do think he's built too many drones to do an early one. So he'd need to go for something like Carapace if he was going to do that. But he's building a Queen, some Roaches, some Zerglings. This looks a little half-baked for Reynor. Yeah, he realizes, wait, I have way too many drones. I better at least make Carapace. But in that case, I think he should drone his third as well. I think he should do like a 55 drone, because Carapace is going to be so delayed. If you don't build any drones, you're just leaving money on the table. But he's building more Zerglings right now. And you're never going to breach this ramp, right? You need to wait for Beyond to move out to take his third. That's where your window is. So if you mass units right now like he's doing, you're kind of setting up for an opportunity that, in my opinion, does not exist. But let's play devil's advocate. 7 Ravagers run up, one-shot the bunker. I think you need to one-shot the wall off first, and then run in, one-shot the bunker, flood around with Zerglings, overwhelm everything. Double upgrades are good, but this is a very Maru-coded response. He's like, I got 1-1, I've got Stim, look at me. But it's like, wait, you've only got 2 barracks. And you've only got 1 siege tank. Second siege tank only now. Like, there is a way you could brute force this, just because Beyond is being so incredibly greedy. He's also slightly supply blocked here as well. You can see his barracks aren't producing right now. Needs to get these depots going. So Beyond needs to fix his macro, and these 3 barracks are all just going to be building reactors. So he's going to be very behind on units. Ideally, Beyond swaps this starport off, builds a reactor, puts the barracks on the reactor, so we can at least get a second reacted barracks. So we can go from 3 to 5 Marines building at a time, which will really help him. And yeah, you can see he's doing just that. Big all-in follow-up here for Reynor, guys. Built the Evo Chamber, didn't use it for anything. Kind of went, nah, it's too late. The Evo Chamber did get spotted, though. So Beyond, from what he's seen, should think, oh yeah, you're making upgrades. Oh, he's going to do a 16 Zergling drop in the main. That's really cute. I love that idea. They're slow overlords. They'll have to come down here and try to drop on the edge. The depot will see it coming. But a really cute move to create an extra prong of aggression. And these guys out in the open. 1-1's not quite ready, but it's almost there. Stim Bio started stepping back. The Zergling's getting a big wraparound. Ooh, the tanks do quite a bit of friendly fire, but he does target them on the Ravagers now. 1 tank in the open, the other tank. No, the Biles just missed. Reynor just dropped 6 Biles on a tree. He completely missed the siege tank. He finally managed to snipe it down, but only after a big delay. Big micro moments here for Reynor in this game. Drops a few Biles on his Zerglings there, trying to kill a depot that's building. Reynor's got to clean this up. He's got Carapace drones and a layer on the way. I think this is enough damage for him to transition, but he wants more. He's going to go for the add-on. Does take care of that. Combat shields has been denied, which is a huge upgrade. The Ravagers have great range damage as long as they got Zerglings to tank. You don't want to lose these Ravagers, though. The Marine Marauder trying to take good engagements, but remember, every stim is sacred. You're not getting those back. Biles coming down across the front. He's going to try and bully him back. That siege tank firing from the high ground, taking down some of the Zerglings. The depots are falling as well. Beyond at the same time. Massive double Ling drop in the main! Huge damage coming in there. Reynor with a double Ling drop. That's why he wanted to keep the aggression up. He wanted to distract so that Beyond did not notice the drop in the main. And that ends up finding massive damage. Really huge commitment here for Reynor. And Beyond, a few little supply blocks. Just a little bit too slow to get his unit production up and going. And he was completely blindsided by this. And that's the downside of not having any counter pressure. No lib to scout. No single medevac poking around. He just didn't have his finger on the pulse of the game. And Reynor, he went balls to the wall. Ravager Ling. He still doesn't have roach speed. Nothing else. And he's just going to go infestation here. And go, no doubt, like infesta Zergling is the way to play this. And go for a quick hive. It's really smooth. You don't need roach speed. You don't need ranged upgrades because you're just going to use Ravagers. You don't need any more roaches. And you just make lots of Zerglings to defend. This 5th base should get denied by the double drop, I would feel like. But it doesn't matter too much since he's up 20 workers. Really nice aggression here for Reynor. Keep in mind, guys, Ravagers morph faster in this patch. They nerfed Ravager morph time a few years ago. Patches has reverted that. That's the only real change we've seen so far. We haven't seen any specific upgrades or anything like that. Obviously, Command Center is back to 400 minerals. All the old patch changes are reverted. Or all the new patch changes from the most recent patch are reverted. I don't think there's anything other than the mineral patch change to, what is it, 1200 and 1600 or whatever it is? I think that's the only thing. That's the same. Marines trade there, not the most efficient trade. Carapace really helping Reynor out. He's got plenty of units ready. Oh, Hail Mary Biles, but does it a little bit too far in front of those medevacs. Second factory comes down. 63 drones to 56 SCVs. 5th barracks? I think a reactor there would be excellent. Where else does one go? +3 armor. Hello. Okay, beyond +3 attack. Much more important, my friend. Problem is that hive timing. Hive timing's pretty crisp. Feels like Beyond here has to make a decision on which style he's going to play. He's going to either stop building siege tanks and get like more aggressive with widow mines and stuff. He'll add concussive shells, or he's going to really turtle this out and just drag this to the late game. I don't know if he's too keen to do that though. Normally not Beyond's forte, but Reynor does despise slow, kind of no movement, turtley late games. Reynor is much more of a movement-based player. He likes to just be trading non-stop, skirmishing, running around the map. So where his multitasking, his mechanics can really excel. Oh, good point from chat. I've not seen anyone mule the gas. Yes, you can mule gas, guys. I think it mines... How much does it mine, guys? It's like 20 gas a trip or something insane? Some crazy amount of gas you can mine. So you can do weird builds where you basically... You could do like a sick battlecruiser rush or something. 16 per trip, says chat. Yeah, you could just do like you don't even need gases on the natural for like sick battlecruiser production. You could just mule your gases or something like that. It's worth 1.6 extra SCVs mining, says chat. Okay. I mean, that's still pretty big because you don't need to build the gas in the first place. The fact that you could do a build where you just drop like 2 extra mules on gas, but you save the money from building the gases early on and everything like that, I don't know, it feels like it'd be pretty big. Watch out, Beyond! Oh my god, he waits way too long to pick up. He had so much time to prepare, and now instead he loses all 16 Marines and a medevac. It's immediately going to pick up and redrop the same angle, realizing, well, you won't expect me to be there. +3 Carapace, Adrenal, +2 Melee coming in, and the Ultra Cavern. Reynor's on 77 workers. He's got a big army out here. Will his Zerglings see this drop? Tries to go for a drop inside the main. The missile turret will spell disaster for the Overlord, but a few Lings drop, which already causes a good distraction. Widowmine's firing on the right side, not really getting any big shots off, and not having that bio at home is going to be devastating for Beyond right here. Loses 16 Marines on the map, and then immediately loads up another 24 Marines. Lings coming in, clearing up the 3rd and the 4th at the same time. Beyond has to do wild damage with this double drop to make all of this worth it. And I don't know if he's going to be able to. Only loses 14 SCVs, which is nice, but he can't really pursue this army. It's Fungal Ravager will wreck him. Reynor loses his 4th base, but he's got a 5th base he can transfer workers to. He's going to need to pick up and get out of there. Beyond has to realize there's burrowed Zerglings at his expansion. That Widow Mine, though, nice hit. These medevacs, just kind of standing there AFK for a little bit. And I feel like, dude, we're going to see the SCVs transfer back to the 3rd. These Zerglings with Adrenal and +2 now could kill them almost instantly. Unburrows just 3 Zerglings to start with. Not the best play there for Reynor. If he waited, oof. Obviously, he can't see what we can see. Probably thought, oh yeah, might as well do a bit more damage. And Beyond does scan. Good move. Oh my god, he only left 2 Marines there. That's like 30 Zerglings. It's because there's an army coming on the front and because these guys are getting distracted. He's not got enough Marines to defend, but the medevacs are actually holding the line. Fungal comes in on the north. Zerglings, Infestors, Ravagers jumping on top. Ultras are going to try and clear that base. The Marine Marauder. Holy moly. A Marine Marauder mine does hold on for now. Beyond, he's refusing to go down, but it does feel like he's being a bit of a punching bag in this match. SCV's trying to fight Zerglings is a lot like sending children into the prison yard to fight the biggest, scariest looking guy. No, that is a 6-year-old. I don't care if you give it a box cutter. It's not going to do well, mate. Weird analogy, but I think it suits. SCV's fighting 3-3 Zerglings, or 2-3 Adrenal Zerglings. Infestors there, going to throw another Fungal. Big Bile comes down. Reynor actually losing a few units. Honestly, he's not rebuilding his 5th. He's kind of playing this like an all-in. This is a weird thing for Reynor to not just macro up. I think Beyond's in such a desperate holdout position. Carapace is almost there. He's going to attack just before Carapace. Infestors will lag behind. They're not going to be able to land any of these Fungals. But once he pushes Beyond back to the ramp, then he could go for the Planetary and Fungal him if he comes back down that ramp. There is a siege tank on the high ground as well. This base gets ransacked, which makes that attack well worth it. Gets the depots, gets the reactor on the factory. Factory needs to cancel and lift off right now, otherwise it's going to go down. These are Adrenal Zerglings, one of the highest damage units in the game. But not quite able to. Double drop going into the main as well, and this just feels like Beyond, man. He's hanging on, but only by a thread. And as long as Reynor keeps macroing and doesn't just tunnel vision, like Reynor, he's going 4 Dropper Lords right now. He's making a cool healing upgrade, right? Like, where's the healing upgrade? That's the Ultra Lifesteal. But if he just takes the 6th base, respreads creep, actually resets right now, builds a Spire, a Baneling Nest, goes Bane Speed, Corruptors, there's 0 path back into this game. Because he's all in on, like, Ultra Ling 69 workers, he wants to 69 with Beyond really badly, it does give Beyond a chance to maybe get back in this game. Dropping on top of an Ultralisk, guys, is absolutely one of the decisions that has been made in this StarCraft match. That's a crazy choice. Gets 3 drones and keeps most of the bio alive, so shockingly is somewhat effective. It's a mostly Marauder army. The Marines are needed. 100 Zerglings are very good against Marauders. He needs more Widow Mines as well. Widow Mines, remember, have bigger radius, 1.75 in this mod, but do take 26 seconds to build rather than 21, and oh, Beyond with a slow reaction. He was distracted down south by some Zergling run by, I think it was. And Fungal's coming in, the Ultra's coming in. Good fights for Reynor. Headbutting into the Marauders, but I think with the Fungal, they can't really start a step back correctly. Bile's not quite killing those libs, but getting close enough. The Marauders are out of hit points. They have to pick up and fly away. The Ravagers come in from the other angle. Going to take out both of those Liberators. 3rd base gets ransacked for the 46th time. Zerglings drop in the main at the same moment, and Reynor all over Beyond in that game. Fantastic gameplay for him. And really just came back to the start. I was like, man, it seems like he's got a bit too many workers. I don't know if he can just commit to another Ravager Ling attack. You know, it's going to be a bit hard. Like, I don't know, Beyond obviously is going to outscale you over time, but Beyond just had no idea what was happening. And I think you could argue if he, rather than focusing on establishing his 3rd, was pushing out with his bio more aggressively, he could have got wind of what was happening, pulled back his tanks to his natural ramp, delayed mining the 3rd, given himself time. Because what does he need time for, guys? He just needs to let 1-1 finish, let shields finish, let these 5 barracks come online. It feels bad to mine off just 2 bases with 55 workers. A lot of those workers won't be efficient. But Reynor's only on 46 workers. You see this army out here. You know he's all in. He's not got a lair. He's not got a carapace. You just need to not give him a good fight. But Reynor had the narrowest of timings, and he made it so worth it with this one. Really well played by Reynor. 46 worker timing, which, yeah, it meant the timing was narrower. His army wasn't hitting as fast as it could. But it was actually kind of perfect because, remember what I said, he's never going to break Beyond on the ramp of his natural if his whole army's there. He has to wait for Beyond to take the 3rd. That's where the window is. And it actually timed out nicely. We might think, well, the extra workers, it's kind of a weird, narrow timing you've got. But it does mean his follow-up, when he does macro out of this, is actually way better. And of course, the big thing is while all that fighting was happening, the slow overlords were coming in, guys. And he just kept pushing the front. And the overlords are like, okay. And Beyond's so focused on the front, I don't think he even noticed this. Or if he did, he was like, yeah, just too distracted. And you could see a lot of SCVs die in the main base as well. And I think he loses some buildings, maybe? Let's see. Doesn't lose any buildings. Tries to load up and get away, but Beyond chases him down. Either way, amazing play there for Reynor. Got a big advantage off of it, and then seals the deal. All right, guys. Beyond the bottom right side of the map. Reynor in the top left. It's Eternity's Edge. It's a big boy map. And we'll see how the players adapt and adjust to Reynor. Honestly, didn't feel like he did that much damage with his Roach Ravager, but he seemed to cause enough havoc with the Zerglings that the tank wasn't out that early, got the depots, disrupted Beyond's build. Beyond was a little slow to rebuild depots in the main as well, admittedly. I feel like definitely Beyond maybe could have handled the initial pressure a little bit better, but he was still in a pretty decent spot. But yeah, Reynor found that timing, got ahead. This time around, Beyond's going to open with a depot on the high ground, and it looks like a command center first. I think he's basically saying, hey, there's no way Reynor goes for an early pool pressure 2 games in a row. So I think I can definitely get away with command center first this time around. And he'll even build it on location. You can play safer and build the command center on the high ground, but obviously, if you're going for an economic build, you want the economy. You don't want to take time to float it down here. You want to get this up mining as quickly as possible. This current patch, what's the weakest faction? I mean, I'm a bit of a hater towards Pro Protoss players right now. I think Protoss has some really big tempo advantages if they use the new gateways, and I've watched quite a few of the top Protoss players refuse to use the new gateways and learn how to do it, and as a result, they are struggling a bit. But I think the moment they learn how to do that, I think their builds are going to be much better. And I think Protoss has some pretty fantastic tempo advantages, which keep them in a very competitive position. But PvZ seems to be this like blind spot for a lot of the Protoss players. I'm seeing essentially very low-level Protoss execution, in my opinion. Some of them are doing a bit better in figuring out how to defend in PvT, but it's still a mixed bag over there, where I see plenty of people rushing Warp Gate far too quickly. So I think all races kind of have overpowered BS to lean into right now. I'm curious if Zerg is actually the weakest one on the live version of the game. But of course, this is Patches mod, so let's not talk too much about that or I'll get confused about what version of the game we're talking about. We'll see what happens. We were just talking about pickles. And chat says, until you've had a legit sweet and spicy pickle chip or 9, get out of here with that dill pickle. What is a pickle chip? You just mean like a little slice of pickle? You're calling that a pickle chip? Or do you mean like crisps, like a packet of potato chips that's spicy pickle flavored? That's not a pickle, that's a pickle flavored chip. That's a very different thing. Yeah. Like what are we even talking about? Yeah. The sliced pickles you get in hamburgers are pickle chips. You guys call those pickle chips? Don't think anyone in Australia calls them that. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could. I'm sure it's fine, but that's just a bunch of things thrown together. Like this is like a thing where people will be like, oh, it's like, what cheese do you like? And they'll be like, oh, I love spicy habanero cracked pepper something something, and I'm like, those things are just things that are thrown into the cheese. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big hater of this, guys. A massive hater of this, like, let's just throw 10 things into an existing food and claim... Like, that's... You don't even like the cheese. You just like the random things that are thrown into the cheese. There's no reflection of the actual cheese flavor there. Massive all-in, guys. It's a Queen drop Zergling Flood. Let's go. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. It's like people getting Tim Tams that aren't even real Tim Tam flavored. They don't even get the original Tim Tam flavor. Guys, he's got to finish that depot. Okay, he does start finishing the depot. The original's the best, almost always. Anyways, I do like those pickle chips I had in Canada. Marines getting inside the bunker, Hellions there as well. Oh, can he get the repair off? You gotta get the repair! A few of the SCVs are getting blocked, but only a few of them. The Marines and the Hellions, if they get focused by the Queens, that could be a big problem. The Lings are dropping across. Reynor getting this round in the bunker. But actually, he didn't leave enough Zerglings on the top. Can it repair? Can it repair? I think it can. I can think, no, it goes down. Oh, but he picks up the Marines. Beyond goes in, gets the evacuation with the medevac, barely gets to the high ground. Can he hold the high ground? The medevac trying to heal. The SCVs are being pulled. This is massively all in. Beyond's still up in SCVs. The medevac drops, the Overlord, sorry, drops the Queen and the Zerglings on top. He's trying to hunt down those Marines. The medevac's still alive. He's got to repair that medevac. That medevac is everything. He's down to just 3 Marines, guys. 3 Marines, not much ranged firepower. The SCVs, Drilly boys, assemble! And they will hold the choke point. The Hellion needs to move south. The Hellion and Marines need to kill the Zerglings, not the Queens. The Queens are a lower priority because they are so tanky, but the depot gets up. Reynor manages to get it up there, and the Viking and the Marines will push this away. He sees which Overlord has the Queens inside. He's going to chase after it. They drop off on the low ground. These units are fine. He raises the depot just in time. And Beyond will hold, but it's only 2 command centers. And there's another Drop-A-Lord coming. Guess what, guys? He's going to make a new Drop-A-Lord, it looks like. But actually, no, he cancels it. Starts Carapace and droning. Okay, so Reynor changes his mind. Reynor's going to chill. His Queens just transfused each other. You can transfuse off creep in this mod, guys, which is very cool. Gives some more aggressive potential. I think Beyond, if his bunker, he kept targeting Zerglings instead of letting it shoot the Queen, it would have been a bit better. It got broken when there was almost no extra Zerglings there. And if he just focused 2 or 3 more Lings down, I think the DPS would have fallen far enough for it to be really good. Oh, transfuse at the last second. Reynor barely keeps it alive. Beyond's Viking has to go across the map. Factory moves over there. Oh my lord, moving an SCV to the low ground is a little bit of a crazy decision. He's got plenty of Marines and Hellions on the high ground. He should be fine just now. Viking's going to loot back and use that with these Marines and Hellions to try and defend. Probably wants to repair that bad boy. Aliens and Marines moving out. You gotta be careful. These guys don't have stim. This is still a weird situation to find yourself in. He wants that natural mining, but on only 25 SCVs, honestly, I don't think it's that urgent. I think Beyond easily could have stayed on the high ground much longer here. He's got an SCV repairing the Viking, which now lands. Of course, the Viking wants to not get hit by the Queen's anti-air range, because that has a much longer range than its anti-ground attack. Queen's getting jumped on. He's going to pick up and try to load these Queens away. Trance uses the Overlord, and Reynor just says, nah. The better part of Valor is to live and fight another day. Sometimes it's about backing away from the bad fight rather than overcommitting. That being said, he loops his Queens back around. He's going to go for the drop, but Beyond senses it. Reynor drops his medevac there, but that means he's got to be careful, man. He's got to run away. I want to run away. I want to simp away. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Nova Simp Shrine there. The Overlord does make it away there as Beyond respects the counter drop pressure, and these two Overlords actually come in as distractions. Who's ahead? You guys let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. He's gonna play mech because he's going vehicle. That's got to be a troll, right? He's doing this to trick the Overlords, yeah. There's no way he's actually wanting vehicle weapons this early, is he? I mean, there's no third command center. Okay, there we go. Third command center goes down. Oh, Ling Drop's going to come in. And Beyond's army is kind of F2ing around the map. This mass Ling on the map. Reynor is actually going all in, guys. He's building a spine crawler right now. He's making a billion Zerglings. He's got +2 carapace coming in. Ling Drop runs into the Viking, but there's a few Hellions there. And with the Vikings shooting down the Overlord, Hellions and the Marine will take care of the Zerglings. Zergling in the main. Will he get an SCV is the question. The answer is yes. 2 SCVs for that drop. Not a lot of damage, but it is something. Oh, Depot barely gets up. That's nice. That's very necessary. The Hellions going to chase these Lings down. Reynor kind of just sat on 35 drones here, massing Ling Bane, but he's been pinned. Beyond is kind of not got caught off guard. He really wanted Beyond to overcommit to a counterattack and then backstab him, but it's not able to work. Hellions coming forward. You don't want to commit to a fight here as Beyond. You just want to poke around, keep him on his toes. He's going to go Banshee Speed. He's already got Banshee Cloak, which for some reason has a slightly different graphic. I imagine to differentiate it from Ghost Cloak. 2 more factories coming in. Interesting. So Beyond's on a Hellion Banshee mech style. Will we see him pivot into Cyclones now and just stay full mobile, full battle mech? Spire's on the way, and none of this army shoots up except a few of the Marines. The Banshees have also cloaked on his side of the map, which is a little dodgy. That's a lot of Queens. Remember, Queens have amazing anti-air. 10 anti-air damage on this mod. Up from 9 in the live game. Banshee flies in and does nothing. So this Banshee commitment was a little flaccid, and he's only now floating a third out. It kind of feels like Beyond's transition is about as awkward as they come. He's not dropping mules. He's just banking energy. He's making random upgrades one at a time. He's going 5 factories. I don't really like this setup, and it kind of feels like he's not really taking advantage of the hold that he had earlier on. No Magfield just yet. He's going to go Blue Flame, cancels it. Now he makes Magfield. Reynor's still on a mass Zergling Baneling force. Playing Mutiling Bane versus Mech is awkward. Hellions kind of beat the heck out of Zerglings. Committing to that fight is absolutely insane. I don't think Beyond could kind of believe what he was seeing for a moment. Baneling drop comes in, though. Gets 8 SCVs. That's why the Lings were committing. Was a distraction, but still think he paid way too big a price for just 8 SCVs there. The Hellion's going to counterattack. Should be able to deny that 4th base. I think if he stays there, he could deny that. They don't do a lot of damage to a hatchery, but they do some. And oh my gosh, he's going to get killed by Banes. You're kidding me. Oh no, so many big Bane hits. Almost half the Hellions go down. Similar units lost have 10 mutas on the way. There's only 1 Viking, 10 unupgraded Marines, 2 Cyclones. Beyond needs to get a move on with his production, and his SCV count has also just been idling. He's not building SCVs off this 3rd command center yet. It really does feel like Beyond is not comfortable in this game. You can tell he's kind of like, oh god, it's the lack of forward positioning. He doesn't have stim Marines pressuring and clearing creep. He's not in his comfort zone. He's building an engineering bay though. Seeing the Mutalisk is really helpful. Overseer's coming back with that as well. Banshees should just try to buy as much time as possible. So the further he lures these Mutalisks away, the better. And he does. Now keep in mind, these Mutalisks are not quite as fast as the current SC2 Mutalisk. You might notice it's a little bit slower, but they have extra range. So these are a 4-range Mutalisk. They also have slower life regeneration. It's a bit more like the StarCraft 1 Mutalisk. They can dance around the enemy units, shoot from, you know, without getting quite as exposed. It's not quite as brutally fast and constantly regenerating as the SC2 Mutalisk. It's a bit more micro-centric in terms of how do you want to get value out of it. Cyclones can deal with it. Now there are 6 Cyclones. There are turrets building. 4th Command Center is on the way as well. And beyond, I mean, he's got Hurricane Thrusters. That's the Cyclone movement speed. Magfield's already done. It's not in a terrible spot. He does have 2 Medivacs and a few Marines in the main. Which, funnily enough, I think the Mutalisk can beat the heck out of because they don't have Stim or anything like that. But looking at that, usually your pattern recognition just says, oh, I don't want to fight 10 Stim Marines and 2 Medivacs. Mutalisk already goes down there. Reynor. It's a bit different using these Mutalisks to the live version game. When his Zerglings just clicked through the army. Was that an F2 or they somehow just ended up on the hotkey with his Mutalisk? I think he just messed up his control groups. Little sloppy here for Reynor in this game, guys. The Overseer goes down. He's lost a Mutalisk without really doing much damage. Only 3 SCVs, and these Cyclones are going to trap him in the corner. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I can't remove that pop-up there. It's very rare that you're on the edge of the map like this and you can't center the units anywhere else. But a few more Mutalisks do go down. 4th and 5th base are now up, but they're not mining yet. Oh, actually, sorry, he does have a 4th base on the Rich Gas in the middle. Never mind. I was like, that's crazy late. Hive is up. No air upgrades other than +1. So it's Ling Bane, no Adrenal. Reynor is kind of just massing Mutaling Bane, but he's not progressing the upgrades. It feels like he's in a state of arrested development right now. It's to claw his way back into Mutaling Bane as if we're only 8 minutes into this game, but that's what we're looking for. Okay, Sundering Glaives. He's going to do it, guys. +9 damage versus armored targets for Mutalisks. This is such a good scaling upgrade for Mutas in late game. Mutas are hot garbage when you get to max supply and your opponent's got, you know, good anti-air everywhere. But this gives them +9 damage. Basically double damage against armored units. It is huge against Cyclones, Thors, tanks. Oh, this little Marine mine drop on the front is adorable, by the way. These unupgraded Marines that Beyond probably should have thrown away by now. Just kind of doing random stuff with them. Can you guys tell me, do Terran buildings count as armored? Because they look armored. Like, is a missile turret armored? Are all their buildings armored? Like, how does... I actually have no idea. So I think every Terran building is armored, says chat. Yeah, because Immortals shred them, Marauders shred them, right? I think just most buildings in the whole game are armored. Yeah, all buildings in the game are armored, says chat. Okay, cool. I should know that. I should know that. Every single building is armored. Never mind. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's gonna be. That means the Mutas are gonna shred command centers, turrets, everything. So it's really powerful in that interaction. But he's not got a massive Mutalisks up, and he's not taken his extra 2 gases yet. So it kind of feels like Reynor's stuck on Mass Ling Bane with a handful of Mutas, and he's adding a cool upgrade. But both players feel a little unfamiliar in this situation. Now, keep in mind, Beyond's Cyclone Hellion is going to micro way smoother with that Hurricane Thrusters upgrade he went than in the live version of the game, but is that enough really to make a big difference? Maybe. I think the Widow Mine adjustment is great, by the way. Like, amazing. You should get Drilling Claws as well, because if you can kite with Hellion Cyclone and have a spread of Widow Mines are really the hard counter to Mutiling Bane, especially with the extra splash radius they get on this patch. Hellion Cyclone trying to pull back. Hellions try to morph into Hellbats on the front line. Gonna need a lot more Hellbats where that came from. 6th and 7th factories are building Banelings! Sorry guys, we only caught the aftermath there, but that is an empty mineral line that was once full. 54 workers return, 82 for Zerg. The thing is, the Zerg composition is so crap in terms of the Ling Bane. Hellions with Blue Flame, Widow Mines, hard counters Ling Bane. Really badly. So the Mutalisks are where the value needs to come from. There's only 14. And even though they do have that Sundering Glaives upgrade, there's 3 turrets there. I mean, they can kill the turrets pretty quickly, but... Oh, there's Widow Mines! Oh my lord, but the Baneling flank is nice on the army. Beautiful Ling Bane flank. The Thors getting surrounded. The Cyclones trying to micro around this bottom edge as best they can. The Thors are actually holding impressively well. What the hell? There's only +1 melee against +2. +2 armor on the Thors. By the way, I'm not sure, did they give the armor back to the Thors? I'm not sure how much armor a Thor has on base. Is it 1 or 2 on this patch? It might still just be 1 like the live game. Baneling's chasing after those Cyclones. Widow Mines do go down. The Lings are struggling to kill these Thors. No Adrenal Glands finished just yet either. Oh, the lack of upgrades for Reynor really hurting him here. His Mutalisks come in, guys. The powering of Sundering Glaives. 3 Mutalisks. The powering of... The power of Sundering Glaives compels you. It compels you. No, it's doing nothing. It's 3 Mutalisks. He went for a big upgrade, but he didn't have the upgrades building for the mutas all game. I didn't really have the snowball of mutas because he'd already lost quite a few. He's lost 26 mutas this game, and look at, they do way more damage, right? Way more damage, but I think this is not the best case. First of all, Mutaling Bane not amazing against mech, but especially in a game like this where you bled too many Mutalisks out early on to the Cyclones. We haven't seen any Swarmos. Now, Roaches aren't bad, guys, but if you're going to go Roaches, you need to go for the 1 supply upgrade. He's queued that up after Roach Speed, so it's going to be a long time till that kicks in. He's going to make 15 Ravages, which are 3 supply units. Very, very expensive for Reynor. That will finish his max out. He's got a Lingbane counter down south, though. I love the idea to take the gold so that if Terran focuses too much on the top right around the Watchtower, you mine the gold and punish them for being so single-minded. But unfortunately, Bjorn almost immediately splits his army and finds it. Oh, planetary. Massive Widow Mines. Almost every Baneling gets blown up by the Widow Mines. These Banelings on the right side could take out the planetary if he commits onto it, but he's got to commit onto it. The Biles are mostly going after the Cyclones and Hellions. Does get a lot of SCVs there and a planetary. That was a really, really messy trade because the Banelings at the bottom side didn't do that much. But this base snipe was really big, and Bjorn was behind on workers for so long. It looks like even a messy trade like that is, I think, a good enough trade. Reynor's down 10,000 in the trading. But he's been mining so much more for so long. Bjorn's not been able to defend his economy. Remember those Baneling drop earlier as well? There's just been so many attacks upon the Terran income. And yeah, the Lings are going to get in on that base again. It's only an orbital. A bunch of Cyclones gets around. Remember, Cyclones also have a slightly longer delay between lock-on cooldowns, which means wasting a lock-on on something like a Zergling rather than a Roach, a Baneling, a Ravager is especially costly on this mod. So the Cyclones really need the Hellions to clear those Zerglings out, creating a bit more of a distinct role for the different 2 units. Cyclones get surrounded. Yes, they kill the hatchery, but at the same time, 10 SCVs died on the 3rd, and you got to say, 82 workers to 4 drones. 82 SCVs have died in this game, and with bifurcated carapace coming in, or bifurcated incubation, I should say, which I guess means you get 2 Roaches for within the one utero, right? Within the 1 egg, which isn't, I mean, you still build them one at a time, but kind of makes sense. It's the name. 2 for 1. Start making twin Roaches. He's going to go for the Crucio dampener, guys. Now, the Crucio shot cannon friendly fire from the siege tank when it's sieged up will do 75% less friendly fire to bio and light units. So if you get Zerglings on enemy tanks, they're still going to do full damage to their own units. But it does mean, like, you know, bio, Hellions, Hellbats, Widowmines started stepping back will take a lot less damage from siege tank friendly fire, which is actually really cool. Because you still have the really cool... Oh, if I drop Marines on your siege tank, you're still going to do big friendly fire. But yeah, if I'm just running at you from the front, okay, you take less friendly fire on your Marines as they start to step back. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Now, Bjorn's hanging in here, and Reynor's not really transitioned, so he needs to just keep blowing up planetaries. He's got the Infestor right there. Looking for a big juicy fungi. Oh, he finds a base exposed out in the open. Honestly, just biling the repairing SCVs would be really nice there. Banelings will blow them up either way. Really well done. Bottom left side. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bjorn. Oh, big fungi. Lingbane rolls in. Very nicely done. Actually, some of the Cyclones with that movement speed buff do get out. Ooh, Reynor walks into those tanks on that ledge. And they do let their presence be known. But another 20 workers go down, another planetary, and a whole lot of Cyclones. And Reynor can trade like this all day. He really should be taking this base and maybe even this base on the north. Kind of keep expanding along the edges just to punish Bjorn for turtling up. There's always a chance, though, with the supply only being 40 apart. Reynor only up about 1,500 minerals in the bank. He's going to go for rapid expulsion, guys. Means the Ravager Corrosive Biles will land a bit quicker. But remember, the Ravagers are 3 supply each, so... Stats-wise, in a raw, pitched battle, the Ravager doesn't really pull its weight. Having the same supply as a siege tank. Obviously, the siege tank is going to let a lot more damage get thrown out in the middle of the fights. Lings will deny these gases. Well worth it. Anything left sticking out is a prime target. Cyclone Alien does pretty well. Scans to clean up the burrowed Zergling. Bjorn does not have abundance in this game, guys. Got 1 planetary, 3 orbitals. No money to even build anymore. His main's not moved out. He's making 3-3. And he has to look for the most efficient of fights. Reynor wisely goes for the Greater Spire. The Greater Spire would be excellent in this game. It's hard to trade super efficiently. And yeah, if you've got that out, it's even harder. Borrowed Zergling. Oh, what is this, guys? Is this a graphical glitch? You guys see this? There's a little shield line here. What is this? What is going on? Oh, there's like wind on this part of the map, but there's like lines in the wind. Oh, that's weird. Hellion Cyclone Thor getting jumped on mass. Ling coming in. Viper's blinding, clouding the tanks on the right side. The Cyclone's trying to pull away on the left. The Banelings back away. The Ravager Ling continues forward. The Ling's going to drag a lot of friendly fire onto those siege tanks. Two of the tanks do die to Biles and friendly fire. These guys have to pull back from the siege tanks. The Cyclone's looking for the punish on the Ravagers. And the punish they will find. So many Ravagers going down. That is absolutely deadly. Remember, Ravagers are not cheap. They cost as much as a Mutalisk. 100 minerals, 100 gas. 3-3 now kicks in. Beyond, I mean, I love these fights. His trading's amazing. But his level of economic infrastructure is bad. But the bases are starting to mine out for Reynor. Reynor's having to take these more dangerous bases. He's still not taking this one up north. And this base was never going to be reliable. This was always going to be a, maybe I get lucky and get to hold this base. Reynor's building more drones. I mean, he's got, it looks like plenty of minerals across these bases for the next few minutes. Long term, he's got to start thinking about that gold base needs to keep getting rebuilt, and that top side as well. For Beyond, these minerals, about 600 and 100 to 400. This base is pretty fresh, but only a few mineral patches there. This third base is getting incredibly low. Most of the patches will be gone in the next 2 minutes. This base, really important. Beyond needs to focus everything on the north, though. If he takes this command center as well, it's a disastrous decision. You cannot expand to both sides of the map at once. As a Terran, you naturally are less mobile. Right now, this bottom side is almost entirely unsupported. 4 Cyclones is not going to cut it. Those Banelings can roll in, blast the repairing SCVs, allowing the Lings to finish off the planetary. +2 melee and Adrenal is in, but you know what? Oh my god, he actually saves it. Sick hold for Beyond. Wow. 13,000 resources out in the units lost. Saves the base. He can repair that back up. Go back to mine. He's constantly rebuilding SCVs. He's adding tanks. Uh-oh. He sees the Broodlords, but he's got 8 Vikings and 20 Cyclones. So if they get caught too far forward, the Cyclones lock on. There's no ship weapons upgrades, which means the Vikings, you would say, kind of suck. If you had +3 carapace, but you don't have any carapace upgrades for the Broodlords, so the Vikings are still fine. Cyclone Hellbat coming in here. Zergling's no match for those Hellbats. Remember, guys, Hellbats have 10 more hit points, 145 hit points. They also have a little bit faster movement speed. You can see they're a little bit faster, so the Hellbats are a little bit better here. Cyclone Hellbat gets surrounded, but the Hellbat's doing some really good splash damage. If there was like 3 more Hellbats in that army, I think that's a devastating fight in Beyond's favor. But you could see, even with +3, those Zerglings survive 1 Hellbat shot on red hit points. If there was just 2 or 3 more Hellbats scattered through that fight, complete game changer. Still no +3 melee. He's got all the Roach upgrades, right? He's got, you know, 1 supply, rapid expulsion, Muta +9 damage. Terran has less friendly fire, Banshee speed, Cyclone speed. There's still a few specialty upgrades out there. Patches, do you have the repairing buildings upgrade in your mod? See, Patches is hanging out in chat. And I know Greenwood, I think, has that one where the buildings will auto-repair to half-life. Fire suppression system. Ooh, these Vikings doing really well. It's a real shame we didn't get to see the Sundering Glaive Mutas do well, because I've absolutely one-sidedly destroyed games with Sundering Glaive's Mutas, guys, on this patch. So Reynor did not find the value. Reynor can be a bit knee-jerky as well. Reynor is the kind of guy where he might go, oh, the Mutas suck or something, based off of one game like that. Hopefully he gives him another chance if he plays more of them in this series. Vikings get caught by Fungal. Oh, now they... Oh, and Parabomb! The Wombo combo. I do like that the Vikings one-shot the Viper, but he loses all but 1 Viking. Luckily, he's got Thors, so they can deal with these Broodlords. Now, you can actually build the Thors in high-impact payload, by the way, in this mod, guys. So you don't have to swap them as they pop out, which is really cool. It's usually the default mode you want them in, unless there's Mass Muta out. Hellbat Cyclone going to get surrounded down here again. The Banelings. Oh, these are not biological. Banelings do less damage to Hellbats. That's the big change I forgot to mention, guys. Hellbats are not biological. Banelings do not absolutely obliterate them the way they do in the live game. So Hellbats are way better against Ling Bane. It's kind of a shame Beyond's not being able to establish that dominance on the south side, which he should have been able to, but he's just been a little light on Hellbats each time. Siege tank on the watchtower. Chadhammer, she's got 30 kills. She's going to get taken down, though. Reynor is sick of her holding this position. She gets 35 kills before she goes down. At the same time, the Thors rotating around here. The Broodlords do not want to stand and swing with those Thors. This gold base is very important for Reynor right now. He's got over 3,000 minerals a minute, mostly because of this base. Like, this base, he's actually not fully mining off. That base is oversaturated. This base is running out. That base is run out. He's finally taken this one, but like I said, he desperately needs that top base mining, and he's got to try and mine this base whenever he can. But the Hellbats, dude, look how good these Hellbats are. They move faster, 10 more hit points. And yeah, I mean, they no longer one-shot Zerglings like they did a few years ago, but you've got these other bonuses to them that make them still very powerful. Really nice Hellbats, man. I like it. I kind of like it. Uh-oh. Broodlord's coming forward. Man's gonna take some damage. Gotta be careful if the Cyclones manage to lock on. Those Broodlords will go down really fast. It's more the Thors that they're worried about because there's only 4 Cyclones right now, though. You can see the income for Reynor's drying up, guys. He's not fixed his income. He's so focused on the fighting and the map control, and that's a real problem for him the longer this game goes. He finally remembers +3 melee, +2 range, Neural Parasite, but a lot of Zerglings got roasted, and Beyond is just outlasting him. 15,000 resource loss difference. He's so focused on the gold. He's not taking this base. He could have mined this base, I think, this time as well. I'm a big fan of trying to sneak hatcheries up, even if you just sneak like 5-10 drones there. But this gold base, early in this map pool, Reynor kept trying to take this base and kept throwing games taking it. I feel like it's a base where you take it just to pull them out of position, and then you punish the Terran elsewhere because it's such an awkward spot to fight. But look at the value Beyond's getting. His Thors come forward. Where are the Broodlords? He catches the Broods in the middle of the army. The Thors venture deep into enemy territory. This is a crazy move forward, but there's just so little army for Reynor. Beyond is going to fight back in this series. What a kind of messy and interesting series this has been so far. Big attack in the bottom left as well. The Hellbats moving in and roasting. Reynor gets taken out. His attempt to go Mutiling Bane there, feeling a little bit flaccid. Those Widow Mines and turrets shutting down his Mutalisk. He'd already lost a few to the first wave, and he abandoned the Mutalisk tech that he'd invested so much in. Had a few moments where he was blowing up bases. Beyond had a much smaller income. The Broodlords coming out was a good call. He wasn't quite able to capitalize on it. GG, well played. Beyond there ties up the series 1-1. All right, guys, so a few little corrections. Obviously, Banelings don't do bonus to biological. They do bonus to light. So they don't take bonus from... they still take bonus from Banelings, but because they have slightly more hit points, it is a bit less of a percentage of their life, okay? So I got confused on that. That's obviously stops Archons doing bonus damage to the Hellbats. It also means Medivacs can't heal Hellbats. But you can build Mechivacs to heal them. Mechivacs, of course, my nickname for Ravens on this mod because they have healing. So Ravens can heal all of your mech units. Unfortunately, they can't evac them. They can't actually pick up mech units. But yeah, Ravens can heal Hellbats and tanks and Thors and all that sort of stuff. Medivacs cannot. So it's kind of like, hey, look, your Hellbats don't get healed, but they are a bit stronger, a bit faster, all this sort of stuff, which is really nice. And the fact that you can squeeze 4 into a Medivac and drop them is very powerful. Now, Ravens don't directly heal. I think you've got the healing drone ability, right, Patches? How much did you make it cost? 50 energy or 75 or something like that? I think this is the same one they put into either the live game or one of the PTR tests, maybe around 2017. I remember there was I remember it was when Estrella first came back to the game. I think Estrella kind of was finishing school or focusing on college or something for a bit, and he kind of left the game. I remember he came back, and I remember he just came back and playing a bunch of games with him on that map. But yeah, it's 50 energy for the healing drone. Drone has the same healing as a Medivac, spending 50 energy, which is what, 150 life? I think it's 3 life per 1 energy, right? But then it regens its energy as well, or... It's cool because the drones are more of an area control healing. They can't move. They do get biled down as well, so it's kind of fun to see those interactions. Oh, that's very cool. Hatch gas pool for Reynor, or hatch pool gas perhaps. No, it looks like hatch gas pool. That's pretty damn early gas mining, right? 2 barracks Reaper for Beyond. He's going to try and mount some early pressure on Rainfall. Is this map really good for Reapers? Like, I don't think you can jump up and down this ledge because there's all these doodads here. So, like, where can you even jump, guys? I think there's a little ledge there. You can jump up and down. I think you can jump anywhere on this ledge as well. Okay, so there's a few ledges around. Then obviously you can jump up and down these bits on this side. Okay, it's not too bad. And there's one ledge to jump in the main, but it's a very narrow ledge into the main. Reaper's going to come in, find some damage. Remember, guys, Queens only do 5 damage versus Reapers. They are not going to shut it down, but Zerglings, as you can see, are slightly faster on creep in this mod. Helps deal with Reapers initially a little bit. On this mod, I basically, in ZVT, always open Roach Pressure. I just do a pull first Roach Pressure, because that shuts down any sort of Reaper or Hellion aggression early, and then I macro behind it, and that way I'm not having to rely on Queens very much at all. And also, because you get up to 4 lava on each hatchery, while you're being aggressive, often you do stack lava, but you have extra lava to dig into when you do start spending your money after something like Roaches that costs a lot of early aggression. See how little damage the Queen does, guys. She has easy pickings for these Reapers. But with only 2 of them, obviously can't quite finish her off just yet. And indeed, it is only 2 Reapers. So talk about a minimal commitment. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They both just went down, though. You can't rely on Queens to defend. This is, like, in my opinion, rule 101 of this mod is do not rely on Queens to defend Reapers or anything like that. You know, that's why I always go Roaches nice and early, and I rely on that big buff you get from 4 lava being able to get out on each hatchery to get back on it. It's kind of cool to see Reynor get punished for, though. I think a lot of players, they get away with this just because people don't pressure them quite as hard as they maybe could, and now we've got a nice little Marine Reaper pressure moving out. I think he's just looking to poke around, create threat. He doesn't really want to commit here, but he's already got that second, or third barracks, I should say, with Stim and Shields coming in. Gonna go for an early NG Bay, 3rd gas. Really needs to keep the SCVs up, though. A little gap in the SCV production. Reynor still has not droned his natural, and where are his Queens? They do not exist. He's got an early carapace. He's only got 1 Queen out right now. He's building a second one, needs a 3rd, but those Queens are expensive losses. And he's going to go for an early Burrow. Burrow does upgrade a little bit faster in this patch. He could use that, of course, to burrow Zerglings on these expansions. He's going to go for a Baneling Nest also. So he will be trying to potentially use burrowed Banelings, but Beyond's not going to give him time. Beyond might just kill him. Honestly, I mean, what can you defend this with? You've got no Queens. another Zergling or 2 goes down. You got 17 Lings. You have to make just mass Zerglings to try and defend this. The Reapers poking forward, but they're always close enough that they can retreat to the safety of the Marines. More Marines at home as well. Oh, Beyond's got to be careful. He's got to keep his units together. You need to bring these Lings in with a full surround, with only 2 Queens on front. Those Queens do almost no damage. They can tank good damage. They can't really do damage. Reynor's trying to catch Beyond, sleeping on the Lings around. Combat Shields is almost here. 3rd base is going to go down. He doesn't even attack on creep into the natural. He's just going to go to the 3rd where he can hide in the mineral line. Queens can't get there in time. You can't afford to lose this 3rd. Reynor's going to try to fight this, but what the hell could he possibly do, mate? He just can't fight that. And he realizes. And I think it's the right call to let the 3rd hatchery die. Now he looks for the fight with the Broodlings coming in. He gets a good wraparound. Is it enough? The Lings get a good angle. The Queen's helping with a little bit of range damage. And it looks like it is a nice cleanup for Reynor. But of course, it's a Reynor who's stuck on 2 bases now. He's going to rebuild his 3rd. I think he should drone even while waiting, even if he just long-distance mines in the meantime. His Queens need to go back, start injecting, saturate his gas, and try and get up a +2 carapace and a melee upgrade and play a very streamlined low gas style. I think for Reynor, stay 2, maybe 3 gases for the next 5-10 minutes of this game, and just look for a mass amount of Ling Bane, as many counterattacks as you can possibly go for. Oh, that's suspicious. And Reynor, he was going to try and get a burrowed Baneling hit. The fact that his burrow, that reveals his burrow tech. Beyond sees those 2 Banelings. He knows you're going to be burrowing Banelings, so he's going to be very careful, which means they're just not going to work against someone as good as Beyond. So he loses 2 Banes. His burrow tech is basically hard counted at this point because Beyond knows about it. He's on 2 base. He says, I can't do anything here. He has to tap out. GG. Beyond with the comeback wins 2-1.